Welcome to An Evening for Hope, a telethon benefiting Rockford Rescue Mission. An Evening for Hope is brought to you commercial-free thanks to our exclusive sponsor, Subway.
I'm Candace King.
I'm Abby Finley, Marketing Communications Director at Rockford Rescue Mission.
Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. I mean, this is the 24th telethon.
24th telethon.
24th telethon.
58th year for
Yes.
Rockford Rescue Mission itself. We're going to be spitting out statistics all night long, really. A very impressive statistic throughout the lifetime of that telethon. Your generosity has helped raise $2 million for Rockford Rescue Mission.
Amazing.
It is a lot when you think of it, right? It's kind of
That
tough to wrap your
is.
head around that. Tonight, you will hear how your gifts restore hope for people in our community, changing lives for men and women here in the Rock River Valley.
Yes, absolutely. And we just want to start tonight by saying we're so excited to be sharing these stories of hope with you. But we want to say a special thank you to Subway, who's making this time slot of, commercial-free 2 hours with you possible. So thank you so much, Subway.
Yes, thank you. And this year, the format for the telethon will follow 8 stages of life transformation that happens here at Rockford Rescue Mission. We have many great stories to share with you that demonstrate hope, grace, and love. And I'm very excited to hear all of those.
Yeah, so we want to get tonight started with just a few words from Ann Dittmar, Board Chair of Rockford Rescue Mission.
2021 was one of the most challenging years for the guests and the residents of Rockford Rescue Mission, but also one of the most rewarding. Nearly 1,000 people were served at Rockford Rescue Mission, either by receiving a hot meal, a warm place to sleep, seeing a medical professional in our clinic, or partnering with a mentor in the Work Center. My name is Ann Dittmar, and I am Chair of the Board of Directors for Rockford Rescue Mission. Join us this evening as we explore people at their greatest need and how this community has rallied with support through the ministry of Rockford Rescue Mission.
Thank you for the message, and also thank you for everything that you've done throughout the years for Rockford Rescue Mission and for the community. We want to keep the beginning of our show going with another message. CEO Sherry Pitney, she's here to talk about the transformation services available here at Rockford Rescue Mission.
Good evening. I'm Sherry Pitney, CEO of Rockford Rescue Mission. For nearly 58 years, our rescue work has been compassionately moving people from human suffering and dependency to a life of hope and flourishing. We believe that transformation begins with spiritual regeneration because lives are changed through a relationship with God. With a fresh start, the bonds of destructive habits, bad decisions by choice or force, and enslaving conditions are broken. This life transformation is best described with 8 S words, which form the holistic focus of our ministry programming. These 8 phases are critical to fulfill our purpose to move people from despair toward personal and spiritual wholeness. Saved, sober, stable, schooled, skilled, secure, settled, and serving. These transitions take place in the context of community, as those we serve are surrounded by caring individuals like you and like me. Tonight, we invite you to join with us in looking at the mission's work and impact through the lens of these S stages, and we know you'll be blessed by our stories of hope.
Thank you, Sherry, for that. Now, as Abby mentioned a little bit earlier, tonight would not be possible without the support from Subway JPW, our telethon's exclusive sponsor. Brandon Wilhelm is here to share more about the Subway communities and the organization's heart for homeless, hurting, and hungry in our community, and why Subway JPW chooses to support Rockford Rescue Mission.
We've been representing Subway in the Rockford community for over 30 years now. My parents were the first Subway franchisees in the area, and we've grown to over 250 restaurants. Most of our stores are owned by people that operate 1 or 2 restaurants, all local owner and operator. The Rockford Rescue Mission does amazing things. They've given people a second chance at life, a second chance to become a contributing member of society, and have really, people's lives have been saved for the rescue mission. And so we try to partner with the mission, and whether it's with food donations and financial donations and time and that kind of stuff as much as possible. So what it comes down to is we just feel like the stronger our community is and the amazing things that are done by the Rockford Rescue Mission, we want to be a part of it. So we want to contribute a little bit and try to help the mission succeed and help Rockford succeed.
You know, throughout the 2 hours, it's always amazing the generosity that businesses, communities have for the mission and the gifts that they give. And there are a lot of ways that you can give your gift here tonight. Of course, it's important to mention that the mission receives no funding from the government because you wouldn't want that to compromise your faith-based that you have here. And that's really a big thing for the mission. The Rockford Rescue Mission is also not a United Way agency, so all the gifts that are received, a lot of it comes here from tonight. And of course, we've seen throughout the years just how generous everyone has been. Now, there's a couple ways that you can give your gift. Of course, you can call in the number there that you see on the bottom of your screen, 815-966-2842, or you can also give your gift online, rockfordrescuemission.org. And this is a first, I think, and very, very exciting. The first $3,000 given here tonight is going to be matched by Mercy Health, Coyle Kiley, and Members Alliance Credit Union. So you get a chance to actually double your gift. And remember, it's the first $3,000. Think about it. It's 2 times the nourishing meals, 2 times the safe shelter, and 2 times the life recovery transformations.
Absolutely. How incredible to double your impact.
That's wonderful.
So great.
Yes.
So great. So we also have some premium gifts this evening for those who are giving. So anybody who gives $55 will be getting a specially designed art postcard by one of our recovery residents here in our Life Recovery Program. His name is Willie. He did a great job with it.
It's beautiful right there on the screen.
Yes, absolutely. It's up on the screen for you. It's just a beautiful design and, you know, made by one of our own recovery residents. How cool. We also are just so thankful for Clodius and Company, who's partnered with the mission for 20 years to provide the premium gifts for us at the telethon here.
Absolutely.
So those are available this evening as well. So anybody who calls in, or the first 5 individuals who call in and make a $1,000 gift will receive a custom designed silver cross necklace.
Beautiful.
And then the first individual to call in a $2,500 gift this evening will receive a custom designed 14-karat gold necklace that Candace is wearing this evening. So
yes,
it's beautiful.
Right, it's absolutely gorgeous, and you know they always do a wonderful job with the design on the necklaces. And I've had the privilege of being able to try not to move wear the necklace for the last several years. So this is the $2,500 gift, correct? Yes,
absolutely.
This one here.
So if you have gifts you'd like to give, be sure to call in here at 815-966-2842 to be able to get those premiums.
All right, now we have heard the phones ringing since we started the telethon, but we have a lot of people here who we need to keep busy tonight if we are going to reach our goal. Our goal for this evening is $110,000. So, of course, we want to make sure that we introduce you to the folks that are going to be answering those phones. We'll start here in our front row. We have Michael Van Sistine. Thank you so much. And, of course, keep those phones ringing. Debbie Van Sistine. Next to Debbie, we have Michael Lentini. There you go. Give a good wave and call the number so he can answer that phone. And of course at the end, Melissa Van Sistine. Again, that number 815-966-2842. We'll head on over to our back row. We have Tim Clausen, who is in the back right there, just gave you a thumbs up. Andrew Findley sitting right next to Tim. Shar Reamer, thank you so much, Shar. She's busy on the phone taking your phone call. And of course, Warren Slaybaugh. So we want to make sure that we hear that phone ringing, get those gifts coming in here so we can achieve that goal tonight. That is $110,000. Again, 815-966-2842, or you can always donate online, any major credit card, rockfordrescuemission.org.
Absolutely.
All right, and I think we've got a little bit of information that there's a lot of different stages and transformations that take place here at the mission. So throughout the night, we're going to be talking a little bit about that.
Yes, absolutely.
Saved, making choices that keep them from chronic illness and physical death, making the decision that keeps them from spiritual death.
Tonight we are so excited to be sharing stories from the people who directly are impacted by your donations and who those gifts help tonight. The Rockford Rescue Mission provided nearly 40,000 nights, 39,838 to be exact, of shelter last year to a wide array of men, women, and children in need, and one of them was Clint. Listen to his story of hope.
I was in a car accident and I was in a coma for 42 days. Before that, I had my own business and I was living life normally. After the car accident, they got me out of the hospital after 57 days. At that point in time, I started drinking to get rid of that uselessness, loss of everything. I drank every day, all day, and that's when I became an alcoholic. And my son and his wife told me I should get some help. They brought me here, and I started down in crisis. And if it wasn't for this place, I don't know where I'd be right at this point in time. And this is where God put me. I was in crisis for 2 months. The day I had my interview to come upstairs, I prayed myself into God. For some reason, I just started crying bad. I was crying. And I had this warm feeling all over me. And then it was like, I had this feeling like everything's gonna be okay. You know, just everything's gonna be okay. That is the day I found God again. And then I had the interview to come upstairs. And in my interview, I was still weeping. And Miss Pam, she gave me the opportunity to come up here to recover. That changed my life. I'm learning things about myself. God gave me the grace to have a second chance. And I'm gonna do it right this time. I'm doing it right. And this is a good place to start and do things right. If you wanna start in life and you need to start over, this is the place I would go to start over. They've helped me so tremendously. I can't say thank you enough. I'm looking at healing, getting a note from my neurologist, a letter from my neurologist, stating that I'm legal to work again. Because right now I'm not legal to work. I'm not legal to drive or anything. I want to get that so I can go back to work. I want to move back to Delavan, buy my grandkids and my son, and spend the rest of my life with them. I now know that I have a father that I can't wait to one day go to his kingdom, and it's gonna happen. I know where I'm going.
Tonight, we just want to talk about how your gift will directly help and impact those who come through our doors every day. So right now, we average about 364 meals a day that we're giving out to our guests, residents, and community members. And we also are providing approximately 133 nights of shelter each night to those who need a roof over their head that very night. Looking a little bit broader, this last year we were able to provide 14,723 medical, dental, and chiropractic appointments in our Hope Clinic here at Rockford Rescue Mission, while also helping 123 individuals secure employment. That is how your gifts this evening are impacting those who need it most in our community, those who are homeless, hurting, and hungry, who come through our doors each day. Eric?
Yeah, the kind of service that Abby just described just doesn't happen. The Rescue Mission relies on hundreds of volunteers who give their time and give their skills to making those things happen here at Rescue Mission. Artie explains why she chooses to serve.
I was a missionary for 40 years, mostly in Africa. I'm a nurse midwife, so I even was out in the bush where I had no electricity and no running water, and I'd have to deliver babies in that situation. And the women would always want me to deliver them on the floor, and I says, no, my back can't take that. It has to be in the bed until you deliver, then you can move to the floor. So it was very different and very interesting. After 15 years, the government took over the mission hospitals. So then I went to the Bible schools, and I was either the administrator or the bookkeeper or both in Bible schools from there and out. To me, this is my mission field now. And I have been here for 10 years. I keep the pantry in order. Now, this is quite a difficult thing. When I'm not here and things are put away, it's not usually in the right place, but I want it to always be in the same place so the cooks know where to find the food. So that's my desire, to keep it in order. Where else can I talk to people about Christ? In any other place, I can't do that, but I can do it here. It's just the ones that you know how to pray for in a certain way, what their problem is. I'm 80, and I think I'm gonna need help in the near future. I'd like somebody else to be able to volunteer and to help, to be able to keep things in the right place all the time.
Now, how do you not feel inspired after listening to Artie's story on why she volunteers? Thank you so much for that. You know, the Crisis Center at the Mission is oftentimes the entry point for people who participate in the Life Recovery Program. Hear from Nikenda about why working at the Mission is so important to her.
I'm the lead coordinator at the Rockford Rescue Mission in the Women's Crisis Department. Every day we get new people, so every day is everybody got different needs. I help them with clothing items, finding primary doctors, helping them with paperwork they may have questions about, help them with goal planning, anything that they may come to me with. Like I said, every day there's something different. It may be jobs, it may be wanting to go back to school, so I'm like their own little personal assistant. My favorite part about my job is watching someone come into the mission and accomplish a goal they didn't think they can do. Watching them find employment, going back to school, finding themselves, building confidence, and just progressing and moving up and out of the mission. My biggest motivator is knowing that I'm helping someone who needs help. We have a lot of people out there that do not have family support, so I'm here to be their support. Anytime you come into a shelter, you may feel scared, alone. So what I do, I try to put myself in their shoes, make them feel very welcome, make them feel comfortable. I sit down with them, talk to them about what goes on in the shelter, what to expect. We go over, I ask them what their goals is, or is there anything they're working on or was working on before they came here, and we just start from there and just get the ball rolling. And we just here just to help people. Like I said, they come in here feeling alone, and I want them to know here at the mission that we're here for them. At the end of the day, they are people. Even though they're in a situation, they still can laugh. We laugh, we do Bible study, we talk together. We're like sisters in Christ. So those are good memories that happen at the mission. Not even a memory, it's ongoing daily.
Sober, no longer controlled by stimulants or depressants.
We're talking a lot about statistics tonight and kind of mixing that in with some of the personal stories. Numbers are really easy to show, but when you put a face on some of those numbers, it really makes more of an impact. In 2020, in Winnebago County alone, there were 37 overdose deaths, and those are primarily in people ages 25 to 44. Overwhelmingly, those overdoses involve the drug fentanyl. The mission is really working hard to change those statistics and get those numbers down. The mission's success rate in the recovery program is right at about 63%. We want to tell you now about how, first of all, I want to mention too that a lot of these videos that you will see tonight, a member of our production staff, Brent Jepson, spent a lot of time putting these together and really worked hard to make sure that you can hear their stories because they really are impactful. Like the one you're about to hear from Chad, who escaped the chains of his addiction and found hope in sobriety.
My life before I came to the mission, it was chaotic. I started doing drugs at an early age, and it was immediately like different for me. Like it wasn't just go do drugs and party. It was just another animal. And so I ended up in prison, get out, relapse, being alone, always in trouble. So it was chaotic. Since I've arrived at the mission, the length of the program has given me time to grow and learn that things I believed about myself weren't true. Like, I can't make it. I can make it, I'm doing it, it's proof. I don't have to be a burden on society. I have value, and I enjoy helping other people. I contribute, and it gives me hope. Like, I'm thinking about going into a recovery field. You know, I knew God before I came here, but didn't have a relationship with him. And just how people act and care here you know, you can see God working in people's lives every day. So it's a blessing. I came in like maybe first couple months, really didn't talk to anyone. Like I would talk to people, but not letting them pass them boundaries and walls. And I've learned to just take people as they are and realize we're all on a journey. And for me now, I'm further along than some of them, and I can help guide them to get where I'm at.
Those personal stories always very inspiring to be able to hear that and to see how your gift that you make tonight really makes an impact here on the lives at the mission. Sometimes our own personal experience can help with someone who may be going through the exact same thing. Andre, a staff member, finds that his personal experience helps him to connect better with people that may be hurting.
I came from Chicago. I used to stay here years ago, but I left and came back here and applied because I wanted to help people. I was tired of hurting people and I wanted to give back and just start a different life on giving instead of taking. Well, first off, I tried to get to know their story because most people, if there's no correct connection first, then there's no correction. So for me, you have to connect first, and then it opens the door for correction. So I just try to get to know them and who they are, listen to them, and that's the biggest thing, listening. And that's the only way you can help, if you listen. We do a process, a Genesis process, which gets down to the core beliefs of a person's life. And this guy was here, and we got to know each other. We went over many things that was taking place in his life, and he just died recently. So that was kind of crushing, kind of hurt, because when you get to know a person and you get to know their stories and this and that, you become attached. And that really hit me hard. I just had one recently. A guy got out of the federal penitentiary after doing 10 years and had no place to go. He comes in and I say 90 days later, he went to school, started a job, got his truck driver's license back, and he just moved out 2 days ago to another city where they could put him in a hotel and everything, where he'll start his new employment.
Love those success stories.
Absolutely.
And you know, some people being able to relate with someone who has maybe gone through the same thing or knows a little bit more about it, I think really, really helps in the long run.
Absolutely. And Andre's heart for the guys that walk through these doors is just incredible. So getting to see that, working, you know, with them is just really incredible.
Yeah,
really incredible.
You know them all here. So 815-966-2842, that is the number that you want to call to make your gift. Of course, you can always donate online, rockfordrescuemission.org. The phones have been ringing, but again, we want to keep the folks at the phone bank very, very busy here for now the next, well, under 2 hours. But we want to say a big thank you, and we've got, you know, we're not even half an hour in, and we've got some premiums that have been snatched up already. So Bill and Kathy Carlson, thank you so much for your gift here this evening. They did receive the gold cross necklace. So thank you so much for your gift tonight. Now we only have two silver crosses.
We have 2 silver cross necklaces left.
2 silver cross necklaces left. Frank and Angel Gambino, thank you so much for your gift. They received one of these silver crosses, and John Nab also receiving that here tonight.
Yes, absolutely. And we just continue, you know, want to continue to say thank you to David Roan, Patty Golbeck, thank you for giving. Kurt Sanders, thank you for giving as well. Janelle Lopakillo, thank you. Emily Burgett, thank you for giving. Donna Kelly, Will Anderson. This is just incredible to see the community come alongside us and be giving in this way.
Yep, community businesses. A goal tonight, $110,000. So we want to check in to see where exactly we are with that. We started off with 0 here at the beginning of the telethon. 28. I know that number should be going up here with that, and it probably will here. So we'll double check. 28 $28,420. So $28,420. So we are making some good progress here, and we're just a little under a half an hour in. So thank you guys so much for your gifts here tonight. Eric?
Thank you, Candace and Abby. And we all know that when that 28 showed up, that it was way more than that. The biggest sign is that the phones have been busy and the operators have been talking to people practically since we started. In fact, I think some of the phones are ringing even before that happened. One thing that's misleading about the phone bank, and I'm just going to slide to the right and then I'm going to slide back in, is that normally we can tell when they're on the phones because they have the phone up to their ear, but now they've got those cool headsets, so we can't really tell. You just have to watch and see that their mouths are moving, and that means they're actually busy on the phone unless they're really good at acting. But they have been very busy all night, and that's what really has pushed our total already up to $28,000. And like Candace and Abby said, only a half hour in to our telethon. So your generosity already is off to a fantastic start. Speaking of generosity, Helm Service is a long-time business here in the state line. Let's learn why it chooses to partner with Rockford Rescue Mission.
Helm is a full HVAC, plumbing, electrical, building automation controls, and sheet metal service provider throughout the greater Freeport-Rockford area and onward throughout the state, even into southern Wisconsin with our Waukesha, Wisconsin branch there as well. We've been partnering with and donating to the mission for multiple years now. It's a passion to give back to the community, to see organizations like the mission, what they're doing, and for Helm to be able to support that. It's just been a blessing for us to see, and we've also supported in other ways, whether it's helping out at the mission or doing a tour, or even just sharing information about the mission to those who may be in need or those who could help support financially as well.
Sherry. Thank you so much, everybody, for giving this evening. Exciting news. We have Clodius & Company gave us a call, and they're going to let us be giving away another gold cross necklace with that diamond in the center that Candace is wearing this evening. So the next individual to call in and donate $2,500 or more will receive that gold cross necklace. So let's jump into this next video. We want you to hear how Barb, a retired corrections officer, found an exciting volunteer opportunity here at the mission.
I was a corrections officer at McHenry County Jail, and when people were accepted into drug court, part of the agreement was going to rehab. And we would go as two officers to bring people down for rehab. We went all over the state, but this was a very common place to bring people. And we would just drop them off. People would meet us and we would just drop them off, and we never really knew what they went through afterwards. I knew I was going to be retiring, and I thought, well, I'm going to go see what they do as volunteers here. And as I was walking in the door, two of the residents were walking out. And our eyes, we had masks on, and our eyes met, and it was like, I know you. And they're like, I know you. And one of them said, Miss Touche. And I was like, oh. And they took their masks down real fast, and it was two guys that I had known from the jail that are doing very well right now. So that's pretty much, and it was like a sign from heaven saying, okay, maybe this is the place you should be. It's brought tears to my eyes, happy tears, that these guys were doing so well. And they were here for almost a year or more, and are back with their families, getting jobs, getting ready to get out into the world. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I do computer work with both the guys and the gals. I do some tutoring. I help with, if they have assignments that they're not sure of, I help talk them through it, or just being there. A lot of people just like to talk before they get down to work and clear their heads. So I've always been one to try to give back. I've had a good life, and I just like giving back.
Welcome to An Evening for Hope, a telethon benefiting Rockford Rescue Mission. An Evening for Hope is brought to you commercial-free thanks to our exclusive sponsor, Subway.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Eric Wilson.
I'm Candace King.
And I'm Abby Finley, Marketing and Communications Director here at Rockford Rescue Mission. It's been an incredible half hour, hasn't it?
It really has.
Not only has it flown by, but that money total has skyrocketed really fast.
The folks on the phone bank have been very busy here
So
just within the last
busy.
30 minutes.
Yes, so a brief overview of the premiums we're giving away this evening for when you call and give a gift. Anybody that's giving $55 or more will be getting an art postcard that you see on your screen that is specially designed by one of our life recovery residents here at the program. So if you give $55 or more, you'll be getting one of those postcards. For individuals that give $2,500 or more, they will be getting a gold Silver Cross necklace that Candace is wearing tonight. And it includes the 8 S's of life transformation in the design of that jewelry.
And throughout the telethon tonight, you're going to be hearing about those transformations as well.
Absolutely. And Clodius has just given us a call and donated 5 more Silver Cross necklaces. And those are for individuals that give $1,000 or more this evening. So thank you so much, Clodius, for being so generous.
That is so wonderful.
It was enough of an incentive to get our total in that first half hour north of $28,000.
Yeah.
Should we turn the tote and see how we start half hour number 2?
I think we should. It's a good way to start out this second
Drum
half
roll,
hour.
please.
So that's where we were just a little bit ago, 28,420. We're up to 43,570. Awesome.
And while we talk about those numbers, we've mentioned off and on, this is the 58th year for Rockford Rescue Mission, 24th year for the telethon. Over those years, north of $2 million has been raised from people right here in the Rockford area. And maybe tonight, even from people across the country. I have it on a very reliable source that we may have some people watching in California who may or may not be related to the Van Sistines behind us who are on the phone bank.
Incredible.
So it really shows the reach of not just the telethon, but spreading this message.
Absolutely.
Right? Because we know that there are issues in Rockford that Rockford Rescue Mission is focused on, but those aren't unique issues, right? And they help people all over the country. But we will hear more specifically here locally about how your gifts help people in our community, specifically in the Rock River Valley.
Absolutely. Yes, so we're just so thankful this evening to be with you for a commercial-free 2 hours, and that's made possible by Subway JPW, who's our exclusive sponsor this evening. We're so thankful for that.
This year, the format for the telethon will follow the 8 stages of the life transformations that happen here at the Rockford Rescue Mission. We have many great stories that you are going to hear. We are very excited to share with you that demonstrate hope, grace, and love.
Stable, mentally and emotionally, balanced and enjoying good health.
When we talk about that health, not just mental health, but also physical health, the Rockford Rescue Mission's Hope Clinic provides, this statistic is pretty staggering if you look at this, almost 15,000 medical, dental, and chiropractic appointments. I mean, you really look at some of the journeys that people take here who are at Rockford Rescue Mission, and it's really a big picture. It's very holistic when it comes to helping them get on that right path. Mission's Hope Clinic provides those dental, medical, and chiropractic care. Program members and community guests often set aside their health while they're in crisis.
I will be here 5 years in June as an employee, but I was here for 2.5 years as a volunteer. What brought me here was my son was going to graduate from high school, and I was only working as a nurse PRN, and I wanted to find what my next stage in life was. So I started volunteering here in the clinic and serving on the line during lunch, and that's what brought me here.
I will be working here 2 years in June. I just enjoy working with people and helping others, so that pretty much brought me here. When I saw a position available, I applied.
We serve our men and women in recovery, our men and women in crisis, the community, and the staff. Our numbers have gone up obviously a lot because of COVID and everything. So we have 2 doctors that do physical exams on our residents in recovery. We also have Mercy Health resident doctors that come in and provide physicals for our residents in crisis. We have 1 dentist who does dental exams, a dental hygienist who does cleanings. We have 8 chiropractors who do adjustments for our residents in recovery. We have a volunteer pharmacist who we do pharmacy audits every 2 weeks for residents in recovery to make sure that they're taking their medications correctly and that they also understand what their medications are for.
The most rewarding thing I've seen is residents complete the program.
There's one upstairs right now. He came in and he was all over the place and had been through a lot of stuff in life and didn't really know if this was for him. And I talked to him about our recovery program. He came in through crisis and really encouraged him. And this resident has really blossomed. He is in our recovery program. He is now also going to school. So that's really exciting to see someone who comes in through crisis then goes through the whole program.
The dental care provided to those in our programs through our Hope Clinic by volunteer professionals are truly life-changing for many in our program.
A basic dental screening, Dr. Joyner does that, and then making recommendations on treatment that need to be done for the patients. Then what Dr. Joyner does is he's allowed to give me permission to do a simple basic cleaning that can be scheduled here in the clinic, and then I can coordinate my volunteer hours with Jennifer to treat the residents in the recovery program. So I try to spend time with my patients that I'm seeing, showing them and educating them about why they should be cleaning their teeth, cleaning the plaque off, what's the proper technique, and encouraging them to floss. Flossing is always one of those things that's not on people's real top-notch to-do list. So educating them of why they need to take care of themselves, what will be helpful to them, and hopefully make them feel better.
One of the benefits is that we have compliance. They're here, we're going to see them, and Jennifer does a great job of coordinating that for us. So she really streamlines our patient care. So since we're only here certain numbers of days a month, being able to see multiple patients in the same day is key so that we can get as many seen as possible.
And the people that we're seeing are in, they're in the program. And part of healing and going forward is having a healthy mouth. And if we can help provide that, some of the people we see have seen a dentist within 6 months. Others, it's been 10 years.
A lot of times people are scared of what the dentist might have to tell them. And just to be able to give them some hope that we can take care of these problems in a way that doesn't have to be fearful, it doesn't have to be painful, it goes a long way. We see a lot of relieved people when they leave, when we tell them that we can put a plan together that's going to help you at least address this problem. And they're thankful, and that's worth it to me.
Offering that vision of this isn't quite so scary, you can get help. It's like we can move forward, help make you healthy. And then people in their recovery, holy cow, if you can help them with their smile. I mean, it's just a big thing.
A smile sure does go a long way.
Absolutely.
And hope's such a big word here for the folks at the Mission. 815-966-2842, that is the number that you want to call to give your gift tonight to help rescue, recover, and restore the lives of the folks here in the community. And of course, we want to give a big thank you to those so far who have given their gift tonight.
Yes, absolutely. So a couple names. Bill Johnson of Review Graphics gave a $3,000 gift. Thank you. Angela Bott-Martin, $1,000. Thank you. Richard Ron Jr. also gave, as well as Larry Lawson. Thank you so much for your generosity. You're truly coming along, hurting people. How incredible.
Yes, I mean, you know, the stories from not only the people who are going through the program here, but also, you know, businesses, why they give their time, why they volunteer. We're hearing so many great stories, and we're only about 40 minutes in, and we've got an hour and 20 minutes more of those wonderful stories to hear. RockfordRescueMission.org is another way that you can give your gift here tonight.
Absolutely.
All right, I think we are ready to send it on over to Eric. He's over there.
Who else would it be, Candace? Are you working with somebody that I don't know? Thank you, Candace and Abby. Throughout this whole telethon, we're going to meet a lot of people who help the telethon or help Rescue Mission accomplish its mission, touching all these lives and putting people on the path to recovery and really rebuilding their lives. One of those happens to be Sold on Tony with Keller Williams. They've been a very strong partner of Rockford Rescue Mission for years.
My name's Tony Vanderhayden, and I am the owner of Keller Williams Realty Signature here in Loves Park, and an office in Janesville and an office in Galena as well. And I'm also the team leader for the team Sold on Tony at Keller Williams Realty Signature. And what I always tell people, what I love about the mission, is that it is not a handout. It really is a hand up for people who need another opportunity, who need an actual answer to their problems, which really is Jesus Christ. There's a lot of different social programs out there, but we have experienced ourselves that the people that we've run into from the mission, graduating from the program, actually get a new tread on life because the true answer is Jesus. There's a lot of challenges that people go through, and social programs don't necessarily always help. So I appreciate that the mission doesn't just give out food, doesn't just give out, a place to sleep. They actually give an answer for people to get their lives back on track. And that's what my family is very committed to, is to helping institutions that do that.
Thank you so much. As Janae finds balance in life, she also finds stability and hope. Just look at what God is doing.
Well, growing up, I experienced quite a bit of trauma. We were basically placed into foster care. Eventually, I was placed back into custody of one of my parents, and not their custody, but their parents' custody. And so eventually, it was just constant up and down roller coasters emotionally. Eventually, I kind of found myself, I guess I could say, acting out in a way, rebelling, and I kind of found myself in some trouble. So I winded up surrendering my life to Christ when I was 16 years old. And don't get me wrong, I loved my ministry. I loved seeing God work in this part of Chicago that people were so intimidated by, but you see these men in suits coming, boldly knocking on doors, and we getting all these kids on the bus and taking them to church and giving them invitation to Christ. And it was good stuff to see that in the community that I was raised in. Never thought that I'd see willing hearts, come to Christ. And this one particular weekend, one of my god sisters from the church, she called me. I was taking a nap, and she basically let me know, well, got some news for you. We not there at the church. Did you know that they shut our church down? So when I got this news, I fell into a world of sin shortly after that. So I always swore that I would never fail my family. I'll never fail my kids, And I did at some point. And I didn't realize that before I failed them, I failed myself. But before I failed myself, I failed God a long time ago. I never thought that my parents was addicts until I got into my adulthood, and I wound up using with them. But I needed a little bit more insight to what my illness was. I needed somebody to point it out. So when I got here, eventually I just had to start seeing how the more I leaned on God for understanding, the more I surrendered to Him, my will, the more He was able to reveal to me what I needed to work on. The more I worked on myself and allow Him to work on me and allow Him to allow the people around me to be used to show me me. Stuff just started manifesting in a beautiful way. I do want to pick back up on a lot of things that I dropped. But for right now, my biggest hope and dream, which is the main reason why I came here, is to continue being a recovering addict continue to learn how to accept being a child of God. And my dream is to be a healthy, sober mom and keep on accepting the strength that God's given me.
You know, Abby, you guys have a writing on the wall here that says, with God, all things are possible.
Yeah.
And listening to that story, it really is.
Absolutely. And getting to know Janae just as a person has been such a privilege, and seeing how much she has grown and how far she's come is just incredible. Lord's doing incredible things in her life.
Yes, 815-966-2842. That is the number you want to call. Keep the folks at the phone bank busy. We introduced you to them earlier here in the telethon. Of course, we want to keep those phones ringing. Now, before we get into thanking some of the folks who have given their gift here tonight, we want to check in and see how well we have done so far. Up to 43,570, 47,000. Look at that. We continue to see that number
How incredible.
Go up. That is wonderful. Remember our goal tonight, $110,000. And we are well on our way.
Yes,
almost
absolutely.
halfway there, reaching that. So, of course, we want to say a big thank you to those who have already called here this evening.
Absolutely, yes. So some of those individuals that have called: Jennifer Dunham, thank you. Shirley Severson, thank you. Betty Nordenberg, thank you for giving. Scott Burgett, thank you for calling in and giving. Lauren Moss, Linda Canas, thank you so much for coming alongside, hurting people in our community and serving and just giving to them in so many ways.
815-966-2842. You hear the phone ringing just a little bit. Let's read a couple more pledges, and then we'll get into our next transformation.
Yes, absolutely. So Patty Clausen gave in honor of Marilyn Miller. How kind. Therese Gilliam, thank you. And let's see who else. Mary Anderson, thank you as well. Kay Stoskell, thank you. Greg Pfeiffer, so many individuals coming alongside the mission tonight to help support what we're doing.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Schooled, enriched with fundamental knowledge to be competent and competitive.
And of course, with school, that implies some learning going on. Here's another statistic for you. 272 individuals received services in Rockford Rescue Mission's Works Center. Sometimes really the problem is greater than just telling someone, hey, go get a job. It sounds really easy, but it doesn't always work that simply. The Work Center is actually designed to provide tools, to build skills, provide mentorship, to overcome hurdles that some of Rescue Mission's residents face when it comes to sustainable employment. And that employment is key to a stable life.
The Work Center at Rockford Rescue Mission is a skill development center. Essentially, we meet people where they are at and help them get where they want to go. We partner with local businesses and agencies to get that accomplished because we can't do everything on our own. But what we do is we interview people when they first come in, develop a career plan, step by step by step, and we lead them and guide them through until they're successful. When our Innovative Education Center first was opened, we only served the people in our recovery program. A few years ago, we expanded our services to include the people in our crisis departments, and that is the Back to Works program. And we now have opened our services for anybody in the community. A couple of years ago, we also got approved to be accredited Pearson VUE Testing Center. So we are able to proctor 260 tests along with the GED tests here on site. We are distinctly Christian throughout this whole building. All of the staff here are ready to offer the salvation prayer at any time. We live our faith, so people who work with us can see that. I truly feel that God has led me here. I was fed up with my former position, got in my car, was crying leaving the parking lot, and said, God, you know my skill set. What do you want me to do? Because I can't keep doing this. And I got home, and with no conscious knowledge that I was going to type in Rockford Rescue Mission and see what positions were open, because it's a calling, it's not a job.
Some arrive to the mission cold and hungry. Others arrive beaten and scared. Some even arrive in handcuffs. Let's hear how Mike has left the handcuffs behind for an education that will provide for his future.
What brought me here was basically addiction to drugs and alcohol, constant incarceration throughout my life, imprisonment for many, many years due to crimes related to drugs and alcohol. And I actually got locked up, put on drug court probation in McHenry County, and they gave me a chance. Instead of sending me to prison, they sent me to the Rockford Rescue Mission to try to get help. I arrived here like in a van, in shackles, around my ankles, around my hands, and just scared to death, not knowing what to expect. But the thing that helped me with it was the people here were so loving and kind that it just immediately made me trust them. And within trusting them, I would listen to their direction and guidance, and a big part of it was God too. As I began reading the Bible, I got saved. My heart started to change. I just started to find peace, and within that peace and love that I was feeling from around me, I started to give it back too. I've cut hair here and there throughout my life, and I never thought it'd be a career though, or profession. As I was living here, I just began cutting people's hair constantly. It became more and more frequent and constant, to the point where I realized I enjoyed it. It was the experience for me. I get to sit down with someone for 45 minutes to an hour and completely bond with them. Sometimes without me even saying a word, I could just listen to them. And it really touches me just to be able to know I can be an ear for an hour for somebody who's suffering or in pain or needs to get something off their chest. My coach just set me up with plans and how to take step by step. Like, first you gotta apply first, and then see if you could get the money, the grants and loans and things like that, and it all just happened so fast. I go to Cosmetology and Spa Academy in Rockford. I love it, just to be around other people with the same interests as me. I'm trying to take it one day at a time in school because I still have a while to go, but I definitely am interested in 1 or 2 barbershops in the area, and I think I definitely have a good opportunity to get in them, and it's just really exciting for me. Man, I was in a mess, like bad. Gangs, drugs, alcohol, living in the streets, jail, prison, to this. Like, it's serenity to me. It's completely 180, honestly. And to actually have a future, a path with great guidance, it is surreal. I know that God is truly guiding me, and if I just give everything up to Him, then I will stay focused and on a straight path.
I have to say, looking at Mike's smile there, you can see and just tell how happy he is being here. I mean, you work with these people day in, day out. You know, being able to see that transformation has just got to be wonderful.
Totally, yeah. To see Mike grow into what he's doing now, and you know, going to cosmetology school to getting his barber's license, so cool. And he's just so filled with joy whenever you see him, whether he's with other guys in the program or talking to staff. It's awesome.
Yes, and that is through your guys' gift here tonight, helping the residents here at the Mission. Now, we do want to check in to see, I know we had just recently checked in to see how far we've come, but we want to check in again. $47,205. We are now up to $56,920. Everybody needs to be giving a good hand with that one. 815-966-2842. That is the number you want to call. We're about to do a changing of the guard with the phone bank, and we'll introduce the new folks here when we get to the top of the 8 o'clock hour. But you want to keep those people busy there behind the phone. Again, 815-966-2842. And of course, we want to say a big thank you to everyone who has already given their gift here tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Some of those individuals, Ann Dittmar, who gave in honor of her mother, thank you. Bill Hunter giving, incredible, thank you. Belter Machinery Company, thank you for giving this evening. Stefan Robotzik, thank you. How incredible. So many people coming alongside us tonight.
Yeah, you know, and I think sometimes people maybe feel like if you're watching this and you say, you know, I can't really give a gift of that much. And it's okay, because you know, any little bit helps, even if it's $20, $25 or $30. Every little gift helps.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, we're going to jump into our next video. We want to talk to you about, you know, the many local businesses that come alongside the mission to help serve the ones who need it most in our community, those who are homeless, hurting, and hungry. And our friends at Superior Joining have been doing just that for many years.
Superior Joining Technologies loves to support the Rockford Rescue Mission because of what they do in the community and how broad the impact they have in the community. So Superior Joining has financially supported the mission since 2000, and we're proud of that. But our people volunteer, and Tom Shiloh and I have volunteered all the way back through to the 90s, serving food, helping build different rooms and things that they have, and then we have employees that also help. So Kelly, you've been helping at the mission. What kind of things have you done?
I help at the mission. We prepare food, organize the back room. If you volunteer at the mission, they will help find you something to do.
And it's really important we celebrate what the Rockford Rescue Mission does, because they really change lives, and we're proud to support them.
Thank you for that support, Teresa, and Teresa B. Sheila, who you just saw there, may or may not be making another appearance at our telethon, possibly in the background. You may have to stick around to see that. Many people come to Rockford Rescue Mission to help for very different reasons. They all have different paths. Maybe they see a story on our telethon. Maybe they have a friend who either got services here or who already volunteers. Jane became interested in serving the mission by reading the newsletter, The Rescuer.
The Rescuer newsletter that gets sent to our house made me realize the residents here have made a major statement to you that they want to change their life, and they're going to need some help with that. And as a Christian, I felt like I maybe had something that I could help with. So that's why I called down here to see if there was something I could do to volunteer. And Teresa said, yes, I could come and tutor. So I came down and talked with her, and she decided that I could tutor in reading and math, basic math, not advanced math. With Bobby, we practiced learning to take tests and asking questions and what the words mean and the general concept of the question. Bobby started texting me, or I texted her. I'm not sure which one did the first one. But she, for the most part, is up at 5 o'clock in the morning, as I am. So we text, you know, have a good day. And I have a dog that I walk at 5 o'clock, so I'll tell her it's 2 degrees above zero, it's cold, or it's a beautiful sunny day. But then, talk about being blessed, she started saying, you're in my prayers today. Thank you, God bless you. And then I would get a good night, bless you and keep you safe. I mean, to get that from somebody that you're working with. She obviously felt free to share her faith, and that is a result of what she's learning here. And that was a real blessing for me. It's just an awesome place to meet people that want to be helped, and they really appreciate you.
For Hope, a telethon benefiting Rockford Rescue Mission. An Evening for Hope is brought to you commercial-free thanks to our exclusive sponsor, Subway.
Good evening, and thanks for either joining us or sticking with us if you've been around since 7 o'clock. I'm Eric Wilson.
I'm Candace King. And I'm Abby Finley, Marketing and Communications Director here at Rockford Rescue Mission.
Rockford Rescue Mission's been around 58 years.
Yes.
This is the 24th year of the telethon, and we like to throw this statistic out because it's very impressive. Over the years, your generosity throughout those telethons has raised more than $2 million.
That's really, really mind-blowing when you think about it. Over those years, how much money has come in to help the folks in need in the community.
Yes, absolutely. And tonight we just want to take some time to thank Subway JPW, who's our exclusive sponsor this evening. They're truly helping us share these stories with you, commercial-free for 2 hours straight tonight. So thank you, Subway. We really appreciate the support.
It's really throughout the years we've seen Michael and Brandon who have been here. Michael was on the phone bank before.
Yeah.
Brandon's taking over his shift, I think, on the phone bank now.
They're kind of changing the guard here tonight.
Yes, their name is on it, but we do really want to put some faces to the Subway JPW group that they have been so supportive of this telethon and the mission throughout the year.
Absolutely, yeah, totally.
So even though that the folks are changing out, we still want you to call during that time, 815-966-2842. You know, this year the format for the telethon will follow the 8 stages. We've heard a few of them so far within this last hour of life transformation that happens at Rockford Rescue Mission. We have many great stories to share with you tonight that demonstrate hope, grace, and love. And this is really nice here while they're kind of changing things out a little bit. I feel like we're able to get to hear more of the stories of the people that are here and just how those lives have really been able to change and be transformed, and to start maybe from someone who felt like they were at the bottom, had nowhere to go, came here and were able to receive what they needed to really be able to succeed in life.
It's really easy for us for these 2 hours to talk statistics. We throw out numbers, how many people have helped, how much money is raised. But when you put a face on some of those numbers and you hear a story, maybe there's somebody watching who they feel like this is just happening to them. Maybe they hear a situation, they're in a similar situation, and it's very easy to get in a position where you think that this is just me and this is just happening to me. And then you hear someone else share a story and they're in a similar situation and they're facing the same struggles. And they have found success here to get on the right path at Rockford Rescue Mission, and it can be really inspiring, and it's great to be able to share as many of these stories as we do tonight.
And sometimes all you need is a little bit of that hope, just a little bit of that inspiration to really kind of set the ball going. All right, so we want to introduce to you tonight the folks who are going to be answering the phones when you call that number, 815-966-2842. Down in the front row, kind of getting settled in, we have Renee Evans. Thank you, Renee, so much for your time tonight. Yes, you guys can go ahead and wave. Brandon Wilhelm.
There's Brandon, we mentioned from Subway JPW, already down to business.
He is. Looks like he was getting ready there. Ellen Nelson sitting right next to him, and she looks like she is taking a phone call. And switching spots a little bit, Andrew Finley was in the back row.
Boy, he is really handsome. And this guy's pulling a double shift. I wonder how we talked him into that.
His wife might work at the mission or something. Who knows?
I think that was a good persuasion there.
He either can't hear you or he's blocking you out because he's super busy
He is
taking someone's gift.
He is very, very
focused.
busy. Yes, he is hard at work tonight. In our back row, we want to say thank you to Ron Billy. Sitting next to Ron, Teresa Beach Shiloh.
I told you we would see Teresa again, and there she is. She's making a cameo.
Yep, and she looks like she is busy on the phone too. We have Steve Cerrone. Thank you so much. Looks like also taking some information because those phones keep ringing. And we heard from Ann Dittmar earlier in the telethon, and she is busy, hard at work tonight. 815-966-2842. That is the number you want to call here tonight.
Skilled, being academically credentialed and set on a career path.
That is the latest S in our life transformation theme tonight. When we talk about those career skills, 387 career skills courses were administered in Rockford Rescue Mission's Works Center. Terry has a very inspiring story about why she serves. First, Terry had to give back, then she wanted to give back.
I started with mission trips at the Methodist Church in Belvedere in 1981 with high school students. The first mission trip I took, I was hooked, and I knew I wanted to do as many kinds of mission work as I could. Our dad was diagnosed with terminal cancer when we were teenagers. We lived on a dairy farm. 3 kids out of school, our mom was a teacher. And the only reason we made it was because people helped us. So I knew I had to give back. But after the mission trip, I knew I wanted to give back. And then I got in mission trip in Rockford. I watched advertisement on television that they needed help for Thanksgiving dinner. I helped serve dinner, and again, I knew I was hooked again. I wanted to come here and help the special people in need here. So I had taught at Highland Foundation level reading and writing for 6 years, so I was used to working with adults, and you just move right on in. And when you see somebody like Bobby Williams, who's now cooking here on staff, I am so proud of her. And she stepped up to the plate when the volunteers couldn't come anymore because of COVID. It was in the newsletter. She said, we have to do this. And I'm sure she played a very big part in keeping this mission going. Yes, why wouldn't you volunteer here? I love coming here. I love the people. I love everything it stands for. Because like I said, we got helped when we needed help, and to help as many people as you can restore their life. They've had some hard knocks, maybe through no fault of their own. And to get them back on the right path and the road of life, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
From chaos to wholeness to second chances in building a new life, Leah's story will truly inspire you.
My life was chaotic. My life was very predictable, but not so predictable. So since 2018, I have not been able to gather more than 6 months of sobriety at a time. So even if that long, sometimes. So sometimes I would make it 6 months, and then I'd go on a binge and be drunk or high for a week, and then I would get another month sober. So it was very back and forth, and I'm able to take a look at my patterns, and I'm able to dig deeper into why I do the things that I do. Not just, yeah, she relapsed again, but why? So I'm learning about myself, and just these things that I was taught as a child, and how to change those. So with the work center, what's really good about it is they refresh my mind. I don't know about everybody's using career, but with my using career, I didn't use those things, like just basic paying taxes, or making large purchases, or balancing a checkbook, or just basic life skills, and things that I used to know, but that I haven't used in so long. So now that I'm able to be a part of that process, I'm grateful that, well, it's set around the tables of AA and NA. Just, you can't keep what you have unless you give it away. Mm-hmm. So it's an honor and a privilege to get new ladies on the floor and be able to just teach them, and help them. And through that, you not only do you grow, but you get to see them grow too. These people love you, and they want to see you do great things. And it's very humbling, it's reassuring, it's comforting, it's beautiful just to have these people that just want nothing more than to see you succeed. So not only can I do all things through Christ who strengthens me, which is like, I say that constantly, all day, but I have felt unworthy for a very long time, and I'm not gonna cry. So I am worthy of love. I'm grateful. If you need help, if you really, really need help, this is where you find it. This is where I found it.
Well, now she can't cry, because then that's going to make us cry, I think. But those are happy tears for her.
Absolutely.
So we want to do a quick check to see how we're just a little bit into the second hour here of the telethon. $56,920. I believe that was our last check-in, if I am correct. We are now up to $77,550.
Incredible.
You guys, we are getting there. That goal tonight, $110,000, and we are on our way. Thank you so much for everyone who has has made that gift here tonight. And of course, we want to say a big thank you to Michael Parker for your gift. And I want to mention this, and I say this every year. You have the option to, is this, your first gift that you've made, or, have you already made gifts? And whenever you see that check mark that says it's their first gift to the mission, your hope is that maybe listening to these stories, some way, shape, or form, they felt inspired, and that will continue. So, Michael, thank you so much for your gift tonight. Plumbers and pipe fitters, Local 23, for your gift this evening. Thank you so much. Header Die and Tool, thank you so much for your one-time gift here, and of course the Cerrone family, thank you very much for that this evening.
I have some names here too. Columbia Pipe and Supply, thank you for giving. Piping Industry Council Rockford area, thank you for giving. Gail Johnson, Michael Van Sistine, Dennis Strand, thank you for coming alongside the mission this evening. William Charles Construction, thank you for giving. Black Hawk Bank, thank you for coming alongside the mission tonight. And Gallagher Insurance, how incredible. So many people coming alongside the mission.
People, individual people, businesses too, really being able to give back to the community. And that's exactly what it is. Whether you are from the Rockford region or, one of the surrounding areas, giving back and realizing, the importance that the work done here and how that actually gives back to the community in the end and in the long run. So thank you guys so much for that. We love to hear those stories. 815-966-2842. That's the number you can call. Remember, our goal, $110,000. We're up to $77,000. So we are getting there tonight. Eric?
Still a little weepy from Leah's story a little bit earlier. One thing, a theme that you really see in most of these stories is faith plays a big part and love plays a big part. And you get that feeling almost when you walk in the door here at Rockford Rescue Mission. And it really helps people overcome some of those struggles and put themselves on a path that will recover and restore their lives tremendously. Here's the ultimate story. You've heard about making lemonade out of lemons. Ted lost his job, and then he signed up for a tour of Rockford Rescue Mission and found a place he can serve every day.
I'm our Director of Donor Relations here at the Mission, so I get to connect with our donors. About a little over 5 years ago, I was in the corporate world for 28 years and got laid off. So I figured, okay, this is my chance to do something really different. So I had a few months to figure out what that was. So I signed up for a tour with Sherry Pitney as the executive director. And my wife and I went on a tour. And as we went through the tour, we just fell in love with what the mission did. The first thought to my mind was, this is what the church should be doing. This is what the people of Jesus should be doing, helping those in need, to be a part of their journey, to see them turn around their lives, to see God work miracles here at the mission. And that's what I saw when I started volunteering here too. And that affected me in terms of changed me who I am, and seeing how I can be a part of that God let me be a part of their journey and their story and their life transformation. I love the guys in the program. One of the things that when I started learning about the mission and volunteering at the mission, I had no idea what addictions meant, the impact on lives, and who they were. And bottom line is, they're just like me. They're just another person just like me. We're all broken people. I do a Bible study with a few of the guys on a weekly basis, and I just love becoming friends with them, connecting with them, hearing their stories. So it's just a chance to get in the Word and really just be in relationship with them as well.
Lawn Care by Walter supports the core values of Rockford Rescue Mission: rescue, recover, and restore.
Walter does a variety of different services, from design and build of brick paver patios, outdoor kitchens, restoration of old landscapes. We also primarily do fertilizing and weed control, total site management, which would include mowing, maintenance, pruning, spring and fall cleanups, and that type of thing for both commercial and residential properties.
There's so many people out there that have the needs. So by either donating your time, donating money, looking at the supplies that Sherry or the Rescue Mission needs all the time, that's something that we feel is very important. And we are blessed, so we're hoping that if we can give back, that helps everyone. So it's a win-win for the community.
And we've seen, you know, the results that it can produce, so firm believers.
You know, maybe tonight you're watching and you think to yourself, well, I'm not in a place right now where I'm able to give a gift. You guys still need supplies and things to really be able to keep the mission going. So that is also another way that you can help and support the mission. Might not be monetary, but with some sort of supply.
Right. Whether it's supply or giving of your time. Our volunteers are so valuable to the mission. So giving of time, giving of an item, finances, whatever it is, it's also valuable to us.
Yeah, every little bit helps here. 77,000 was our last number, and we just got word. We want to check in again to see where we are because that number continues to go up. We're now up to $81,580. You guys, we are making this possible here tonight, so thank you so much for opening up your heart here this evening, listening to those stories, and giving your gift. 815-966-2842. That's the number you want to call this evening.
Absolutely, and we have some generous
We
people
sure
giving us, you know, a little bit of support this evening, or a lot of it. So we have some names to read. Evelyn DeVries, thank you for giving tonight. Michael Stalin, thank you for giving tonight. Dennis Stalin, I'm sorry. Thank you for giving, for supporting the mission this evening.
Yes, Laverne and Kathy, thank you so much for your gift here tonight. And Joyce Hens, thank you for your gift to the mission this evening.
Secure, able to provide financially for themselves and their loved ones.
Yeah, that security can be really, really important. Speaking of which, here's another statistic for you. 123 jobs were secured through the Works Center this year. From rock bottom to rock solid, kind of a big turnaround. Dave tells us how he's found security and family at Rockford Rescue Mission.
Drinking was always a problem for me. I never drank normal. I thought I knew God in 2008, in 2009. But I only asked God to help me with my drinking problem. I didn't ask him for nothing else. And actually that came true. He helped me with my drinking problem. And, you know, it kept me sober from alcohol for about 12 years. About maybe halfway through that, I started having medical problems. So I actually went to the doctor and ended up getting 3 hip surgeries. From that, I ended up getting prescribed pain medicine. And that is really when I, before I came here, where it was like the first time I was dishonest with myself, you know, just to continue to take pain medicine when maybe I shouldn't have been taking pain medicine, you know. So after that, I relapsed in the year prior to coming here. And I will say that for that whole year, I thought I could do it, thought maybe, you know, and then ultimately it went down quick. And next thing I know, I was drinking once, then a month later, then 2 times, and then it became every day pretty quick. You know, for so many months prior to me getting in trouble, I wanted to stop, and I couldn't. Every day I'd wake up and be like, all right, go somewhere to get, you know, talk to someone, whether it be a church, it don't matter really. But I never did, and just like I kept on doing what I didn't want to do, what I hated doing, but I did it anyways. And then I had a blessing, got pulled over, and I'm here. As soon as that happened, I was sitting in the driver's seat of the car, and the first thing I did, I said, thank God, it's over. And I think that was the only way for me to get here. Because ultimately, sometimes when you're out there in your addiction, you think no one cares. So when you come here, I mean, the first thing you know, you realize people do care. And that blows me away. You're not alone. Everybody has problems like you. Some of them have identical problems as we do. You know what I mean? And to know that you're not alone, I mean, that's what this community is. I mean, we're all in it together, so. It's awesome, from going down to the kitchen, to working on the line, to working together. It's just, honestly, I can only describe it as love. I go back to the Christmas party with all the volunteers that come here. That is just, that's special. And there's no other way to put it, you know? And literally, that's God's work at its best. You know, before I came here, I never in my life put God number one. I look at it now and I could say shame on me for not doing that. However, I do that, and that's where it comes from. So when I go down there, I'm ultimately doing this for God. And when I do it for God, I know I'll be a volunteer. I know I'll do, I want to help others. I want to give back to what people are giving me right now. The mission means a lot to me just because this place gave me freedom, gave me my heart back, man. Before I got here, I did not love. And, you know, I was not always like that. I don't do it to get something back. Do you know what I mean? I do it to help others. I mean, it's really, and that makes me feel good and it comforts me, and I know that's what God wants, so.
John once found hope for his own recovery at the mission, and now he shares that hope with others.
About 16 years ago, I came to the Rescue Mission drug and alcohol program for recovery. And through the year of the recovery I went through the process, I felt engaged and wanted to be involved in the ministry because of what it did for me. The most rewarding part, I believe, is seeing people succeed. Watching people go from the despair that they come in to finding success. My job is pretty unique because I'm usually the first person they meet. I do the initial assessment, what I like to call the triage with them. I go through the demographics and I get to ask them what is the most important thing they need and what's the most immediate thing they need. And I can help direct them to some of that, and then I help position them to see the guest advocate within the next day or so. One of the things I like to find out from them is what brought them here? Why did they choose the mission, and what circumstances brought them to our front door? And once we know what brought them here, we can help formulate a plan of what steps they can help take and what's the most important thing to start with. Like as simple as getting an ID. I mean, in order to proceed anywhere from here, you need an ID, a valid ID to pretty much do anything. So that would be one of the things I would address right away. Just seeing the guests that come in here and proceed to address some of the issues that they have. For example, if it's a drug and alcohol addiction, and watch them to take the steps to go upstairs into the recovery program and watch them stand on the stage and graduate, and to know that I've had maybe a little influence or a little connection with them along the road.
Sometimes knowing someone like John cares up front really makes that journey a little bit easier for someone who comes to Rockford Rescue Mission. Advanced Chimney gives back to the community by providing second chances to many program residents at the mission.
I'm president of Advanced Chimney Systems, and I've been doing that for 38 years. We service fireplaces, cells, stoves, inserts, gas logs, pretty much anything with fireplaces and chimneys. I'm really passionate about what goes on here and support in any way. I just love being an opportunity to maybe help some of the residents coming through life recovery and transition into everyday life. I feel strongly that that transition is crucial in a confined environment where you have control over everything. That step into independence. We've had a number of employees work for us, sometimes short term, sometimes longer term. We have one employee currently that's been with us maybe 4 years. I've had a number of memories with residents, and as well as one of our current employees, Rex, has become a friend that's worked with us for a long time. But I know it's very rewarding just to see somebody being responsible and whole, and all of a sudden having a family and their own place to live. So the mission has done a great job of trying to teach some of the residents responsibility, and I think it's a wonderful opportunity for them. I mean, right now, finding skilled or unskilled labor has been very difficult over the last year for us, and but we would continue to use this as a resource to fill openings when we have them.
It is so nice to see businesses that support the mission, but then, maybe through a monetary gift, but also having the people here when they graduate from programs come into their business and work too. And it kind of comes full circle for them.
And genuinely building relationships with these people too. You know, Brad came in and knew names of graduates, and that just shows that they care.
They do, and that's a really big thing, I think, for the people here, is knowing that somebody cares, knowing that somebody is there to be able to support them.
Absolutely.
So, all right, we want to get another check here of where we stand. We were up just a bit here, $81,580. Remember that goal, $110,000. We are at $89,915, and that was just in a matter of 10 minutes, I feel like. So that number continues to go up. Thank you guys so much for your help here tonight. 815-966-2842. That is the number that you want to call here this evening. And we want to give, again, a big thank you to those who have called, whether it be on the phone or maybe online. RockfordRescueMission.org, another place that you can give your gift here tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we have some names that we would like to thank. Sue Fiducia, thank you so much for giving to the mission this evening. And a cool story behind this next gift. Marvin and Charlotte called in and they gave a gift in memory of their Aunt Liz. And Liz actually was known as the pie lady here at the mission. She volunteered for years to bake pies for those in our program.
So
and
nice.
Just how incredible, right? To give a warm dessert to those who need it most.
Sometimes a warm pie can go a long way.
Absolutely.
It can definitely go a long way. Ruth Vick, thank you so much for your gift here this evening. Dave and Tony, thank you so much for your gift tonight. And Gary and Darlene Patton, thank you very much for your gift. Remember, 815-966-2842, the number you can call. We want to keep our new inductees of the phone bank busy here for the next 35 minutes or so that we've got left here. And remember, we want to reach that goal. You know, it's important too to also keep in mind that the mission does not receive any sort of government funding.
Correct.
It's not part of the United Way agency as well. So everything that comes in is through generous gifts from you guys out in the community.
Absolutely. You're truly impacting lives each and every day.
All right. Thanks, Eric.
After that last segment and that conversation, all of the talk over here on the phone bank from people who aren't taking calls is about apple pie. All of a sudden, there's this huge craving for apple pie. You can almost smell it in the air. Rockford Mutual Insurance is invested in our community and invested in the mission and invested in hope.
Rockford Mutual is an insurance company for property and casualty, and we serve the states of Wisconsin, Illinois, and Indiana. We specialize in auto, home, commercial lines, farm lines to our policyholders. We had a program that was started a while back where we were actually helping in the food lines and helping out at noontime, serving food to the homeless and so forth. And you know, it's a great cause. It's a company very similar to us. I mean, we've been in the business for 125 years in Rockford, Illinois. They've been in business 58 years in Rockford, Illinois. And you know, we look at each other as both as servicing people. And the fact that they do so much for feeding the hungry and helping those that are in need is very important. We feel that you have to serve the community and you have to help others.
All right, we have got just a little over 30 minutes left here, and we are well on our way of reaching that goal, $110,000. But of course, we would not be able to do that without the help of you guys at home, the support of the community, as well as the businesses around. So Ken Schold, thank you for your gift to the mission here tonight.
Yes, Chuck Davies, Steve Ward, Jim Dooley, Rob and Laura Petrie, thank you so much for coming along the mission's side this evening to help support hungry and homeless individuals.
Nancy Sylvester, thank you for your gift here. You know, and Abby, I had mentioned earlier, you know, we get these forms that we see when the people make their gifts to the mission. And on the top of them, it says, is this your first gift to the mission? Yes or no? And we love to see those when they're marked yes, because the hope is that, you know, listening to the stories here tonight, they felt inspired in some way, shape, or form to be able to give. Maybe they know somebody who is going through a very similar situation. Maybe they are going through a very similar situation. And being able to listen to that, know that there is hope out there. I'm going to cry. Know that you're not alone. Eric,
It's
you
okay,
take it
that's
over.
no. And I don't know if I could say it any better than you did, but that's really true. And we've talked about it a little bit, where someone may be sitting at home and thinking that they are alone, and they're not. And not only do they realize they're not alone, there's also help.
Yes.
And a wide range of help that can put them on the path and to overcome some of these obstacles in their lives. Maybe they started in a rough spot. You know, they certainly weren't born on third base and think they hit a triple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you start a little bit behind the 8 ball, it can be very easy to think that you're stuck.
Yep.
And you're not. And that's a big important part of this message.
And
tonight.
making that first step can sometimes be the hardest.
Yes, and commonly when I talk to residents and I ask them, what would you tell people? They oftentimes say, come to the mission. This is where you can start to rebuild your life from the ground up.
Yep.
So,
With
incredible.
God, all things are possible.
And a lot of that rebuilding happens with the help you're providing tonight. Should we look and see where we are?
I think we should.
We're on a very good pace halfway through. You're just doing the simple math of beating our $110,000 goal when we were at 8 o'clock.
Yes, and we're already at 98,350. Wow.
And still a half hour to go.
We still do have a half hour to go. I think we're almost to that half hour.
Very
In
close.
fact, yeah, we are getting there. So thank you guys so much. RockfordRescueMission.org. You can donate online, 815-966-2842. Of course, you can give your gift by calling too.
Give us a couple seconds to catch our breath, and we'll start our final half hour here on the Rockford Rescue Mission Evening for Hope Telethon.
Welcome to An Evening for Hope, a telethon benefiting Rockford Rescue Mission. An Evening for Hope is brought to you commercial-free thanks to our exclusive sponsor, Subway.
Listen.
I am Candace King. And I'm Abby Finley, Marketing and Communications Director here at the Mission.
I was going to say, that was a short breath.
Right, there was a couple of seconds to catch our breath. Literally, that's what happened here. It's the final half hour of Rockford Rescue Mission's Evening for Hope. We've thrown these numbers out all evening, but if you miss them, they're impressive. 58 years for Rockford Rescue Mission, 24 years of telethons, $2 million raised in those 24 years of telethon. And we're going to add to that total tonight.
I think before the telethon started, you and I were trying to figure out how long we've been part of the telethon. And, you know, throughout the years, just the amount of money that has been raised, you know, adding to that $2 million or over that $2 million, it's a good feeling to be a part of.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of work to pull an evening like this off. And let's be perfectly honest, we have the easy jobs because we're here and, you know, we present information and we help introduce people's stories. But there's work that goes on all year long just to make this night happen.
Yeah, and Abby, you can speak a little bit more to that about what goes on here.
Yeah, we've been working so hard together, volunteers, staff, guests, and residents to help tell their stories. So Brent from WTVO has done a great job, you know, coming alongside the mission and helping tell these stories in such a beautiful way.
And, you know, being able to listen to those stories and doing the videos like we do has allowed us to kind of show more stories and get more of an insight of the inspiration, the hope, the restoration that goes on here at the mission.
And we have another at least half hour to give you some of those stories, a few maybe that you've seen. I think we may have one or two that might have already been seen. We're going to show them again because I think they're very impactful. But we've also got some new faces to show you in this next half hour.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we've got some amazing sponsors too for that.
Yes. So we just want to take some time to say thank you to Subway JPW. They are making it possible for us to join you in your homes tonight, 2 hours commercial free. So thank you, Subway, for coming alongside us tonight to help tell these stories of hope.
All right, this year the format for the telethon will follow the 8 stages of life transformation that happens here at Rockford Rescue Mission. We have many great stories, as we've mentioned, to share with you that demonstrate hope, grace, and love.
Settled, benefiting from having the same safe place of their own to stay every night.
And speaking of, when we hear about that S, we transition into this statistic. Speaking of settled, 434 individuals secured housing in the last year through Rockford Rescue Mission. Listen as Kim shares her powerful story of redemption and restoration with family through the Life Recovery Program here at Rockford Rescue Mission.
Drugs and alcohol. I come from a family of abuse and poverty and lost my place and was out there pretty bad. I really wanted to stay clean and I had a desire to increase my relationship with my Lord Jesus Christ, and I just wanted to live and do the right thing in my life. What makes the Rockford Rescue Mission special is they bring relationships back with your family. I was able to bring my kids to treatment with me. They helped me get my relationship back with God. I went through the Genesis process, so I got a chance to do some healing in some areas that was broken in my life and some childhood trauma. I forgave my mother. We are very close. We talk every day, and going through Genesis and through the mission, it just healed a lot of areas that was messed up in my life. It was just a blessing that I can't describe. I felt like for the first time in my life I had accomplished something and didn't give up and didn't throw in the towel. The mission gave me a second chance. God gave me a second chance, and I don't take it for granted. It's a gift. Well, what's happening today is I'm employed, been at my job going on 7 years. I go to church. My life has changed tremendously. I left out of here and got a 3-bedroom apartment in 2013. I'm still in that same apartment. Been able to pay my bills and furnish my apartment and be blessed overall. God can restore relationships. Well, my hopes and dreams is to go back to school. I want to major in medical billing and coding. That's always been a dream of mine. I got my GED, so my next goal is to go back to school and take those classes and retire in medical billing and coding. What keeps me moving forward is God and my need to not give up on myself and to keep being an inspiration to people and to make sure that I'm there for my 2 daughters and keep my livelihood going with God's help. Put God first, always. Love yourself and love others.
Those pictures Kim shared really say a lot, and she also introduced us to another step in the whole process, and that's forgiveness. Forgiveness sometimes when it comes to maybe family members forgiving someone who is trying to get their lives back on track, but also sometimes for those people who are struggling to forgive themselves. That can be a very important part in this process. Rhonda is inspired to lead in women's recovery through teaching God's Word.
Coordinator here on the recovery floor. I have been used to being in ministry, always volunteering, and my heart is to minister to people. When I was probably around the age of 12, I started to get this point in time where I started to hear God's voice speaking to me, and God gave me the scripture. It's in Isaiah. It's Isaiah 61. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives and opening the prisons to those who are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn and to console those who mourn in Zion, to give them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, and they shall be called the trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he may be glorified. And what that means to me, I always say it's the great exchange. We get to bring what's broken and not working of our lives. We get to bring it to the Father, and he turns it into something beautiful. So he always takes, diamonds are coal, and under the pressure, he makes beautiful diamonds. And it's that way with everything that God does, even his people. And that's what I see. I see these gems and I see these beautiful people, and I don't see them as their addictions. I see them as healed and whole. And anytime that we have an opportunity to minister to them one-on-one and see the breakthrough, see a change, like a significant change, when I can start to see they're owning it for themselves and they want it for themselves, I can mark where I encountered God and where the change came. And so that's what it is for me. And that motivates me every single day.
Thank you so much, Rhonda, for sharing your story here this evening. We want to check how we have done so far. We have been making really good progress. $98,350. That was the total at our last check. $104,000. Everybody give a round of applause for that. $285. Remember that goal for us tonight, $110,000. And we're getting there.
Yes.
We are getting there. And even if we were to surpass that goal within the next 20 minutes, that's okay, because all of that is going to go right here to the mission and to help support that goal.
Yeah, let's talk about some individuals who've given. We want to say thank you to Dave Klauser. Thank you for giving this evening. Steve Weirs, thank you for giving this evening. We want to thank Jay Pitney for being generous this evening as well and donating to the mission, as well as Grant Walter donating in honor of the Pitney family.
You know, so a lot of people too, when they give their gift, will either say it's in, you know, in memory of, or in honor of, or maybe they know somebody who has, you know, gone through the program in their family. Maybe they've gone through it themselves, or, you know, supporting someone who has actually been through the program and knows everything that goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we're talking about financial giving tonight, but there are so many other ways that people give, including churches. So we commonly partner with churches in a way where they give their finances, give their time, and even give items off of our needs list to us. And it's crucial that we have that partnership with churches to help support the work we do here at the mission. Additionally, it's also crucial we partner with churches because we want to get our residents connected to the community that the church has to offer, so our residents can continue to walk a path of settled and wholeness in their recovery journey. So we just want to talk about First Free Rockford, who's one of the many churches in the state line that partners with us, and how they help impact the lives that are changed here at the mission.
First Free is an evangelical free church. We have Swedish roots. We've been a church for over 100 years now, and we're really involved in the community through different organizations, Rescue Mission being one of them. We are a church, so we have services on the weekends. We have midweeks that people can be a part of through Bible studies and life groups and different things to help people learning about how to handle their money and opportunities to serve and prayer groups, all sorts of stuff like that. I'm the associate pastor, so I get to oversee discipleship and help fill in on leading our ministry leaders who are overseeing students and kids and adults and all those sorts of things. We've had a long history with the Rescue Mission. We've had lots of people who've been very involved there. We have people who volunteer there regularly, who've given funds there. My understanding is even historically have helped out in hard financial times for the Rescue Mission. And the reason being is we root that in the person of who Jesus is. And we see through Scripture that Jesus is very concerned with the people who are feeling or experiencing oppression, who are down on their luck, who have hardship, and so the poor are very much elevated in God's kingdom of people that we want to come around and support and use what we've been given to help aid in any way that we can. And so a lot of it just comes from reading the words of Jesus and seeing how he lived his life, and he was with the people who were on the fringe, and that's where his kingdom takes root, and that's where we want to be, and we want to serve and be present. We have a church service every Sunday with the residents down there, and we have worship and teaching and all that that we're able to join in down there.
You know, nights like tonight would not be possible without the generosity of you folks at home, but also the businesses throughout the community, and the business community investing into who may be most vulnerable here throughout the area. Listen to why Midland Wealth Management chooses to partner with Rockford Rescue Mission.
At Midland States Bank, we are an Illinois community bank, and Midland Wealth Management in particular, we're an investment firm. We manage people's retirement savings and do manage trusts as well here in the Rockford area and throughout Illinois. We love the Rockford Rescue Mission. We're a local bank, so we love to invest in our community, and the Rockford Rescue Mission just does great work in our community, caring for really the neediest, and we love to partner not only finances but also volunteering. So Midland Wealth Management is happy to sponsor the Rockford Rescue Mission. I've been on the board since 2020, but my wife and I, we've partnered with the mission for years financially, serving on the board for a couple of years now. I know the bank has, Midland has a long-standing relationship with the rescue mission, both financially, customer, serving the mission.
A big thank you to Midland Wealth Management, of course, for their time, their generosity here, and of course to all the businesses who help support the mission at Rockford Rescue Mission.
Absolutely. Yeah, we just have some more names to thank this evening. Bill Knight, thank you for giving to this evening. Pamela Gitchell, thank you. And Pamela Fuller, thank you for coming alongside the mission tonight as we raise funds to help the homeless, hurting, and hungry in the Rock River Valley. Yeah, you may think, I don't have a lot to give here this evening. Maybe you're in a spot yourself where, things might be a little tight financially, but, giving that gift, is something that is very, very helpful, even if it is $10, $20, $25. Every little bit here helps. And of course, we want to check in to see where we are tonight. $104,285. That was our last check-in here this evening. $104,385. So we've gone up there $100. We're going to get there, that goal here this evening, $110,000. We've got just about 15 minutes to get there. And we will definitely get there. We've heard the different processes and the stages of transformation, and we want to listen to another one of those here now.
Serving, giving back to the community through missional living.
And that serving is our final S of the evening. Speaking of, in the last year or so, 1,243 people were served by Rockford Rescue Mission. Here's another S, Suzanne. Suzanne used to be a resident of the Life Recovery Program here at Rockford Rescue Mission. Now she's pursuing a master's degree in social work and has a career invested in reaching out to others in desperate need and in showing hope.
I did not make the best choices when I was in active addiction. I broke laws. I took things that, I didn't have any boundaries. So I was looking at consequences. Let's just leave it there. The judge said I was going to prison. He said I was going extended term. I was looking at 6 years to 30. But all of a sudden, really clearly, it was that quickly, the judge that was going to sentence me either got a promotion or just moved to a different courtroom. I was kicked back to my old judge, and the judge was a fan of the mission. So I got to come here instead. Right there, that tells me that God's got a plan for me. But when I got here, I still didn't know how the case was going to end up. I was on a furlough, what they call. I still knew it had to happen then. I needed to live again. So, yeah, it's been a journey. I now have the empathy and the compassion because I've been there. Where I work now, I work in the community. I do give back. It's a passion now. I almost have to. Everything I went through here was a lesson. It was an opportunity. The mistakes I made now got turned into learning opportunities. A head full of knowledge as I'm back in school doesn't come close to what I learned here as far as, we're not bad. It's not us, it's the behavior. So I've learned quite a bit about talking to somebody else, understanding that no, it's obvious to me, may not be obvious to somebody else. I also volunteered here in between the time I was a client and I did start working here for a year. I volunteered at the homeless shelter for the women. That was a year I will never regret. It was amazing. I just have to be still and stay out of my own way. Let the message speak for itself. I'm just the vessel. There has to be a reason for why you went through what you went through. And to give hope, to provide hope, I know that's God's job, But I think he puts us there for that reason, so they can see the hope that there is a way out.
We might not be able to see it right at that moment, what that plan is, what that ultimate plan is, but there is a plan, and that's important for people to know that God does have a plan for that.
Yes, absolutely. And you tonight are helping us, bring people in so they can, start to see what that plan is. So we just want to thank Mary Lee and Wes for giving this evening, coming alongside the mission to help those in need. Any gift truly can help. A meal here at the mission costs $2.04. So it's, truly an impact when you come alongside the mission.
It is. And you reading those names and those gifts. And I wanted just to mention real fast, we've got the total up there.
Yes.
Our total for tonight, our goal was $110,000. We're now up to $111,060. So thank you guys so much for that. And we're going to continue with this. We're not going to stop here. We've got a couple more stories. And, even though we've reached that goal, that number is going to be pushed a little higher. So continue to give here tonight.
Absolutely. And as we continue on with the night, let's hear from Rick and Lonnie, who have found a way to use their pain and loss to help those in need throughout our community, all while honoring the memory of their son, David.
David was at the rescue mission in 2014, and actually he came in at the end of 2013, and he was here over the holidays. And the way this all started in David's Closet started is that I brought the kids here to see him, and he went to this little closet that was behind the reception desk, and there were just a few items in there, and he was able to take a couple items out of there to give them as gifts, which they were thrilled about, and he was so happy that he could give them something. So after he died, we thought, how can we keep his memory alive? What can we do that we know he would want us to do? And we decided that we were going to actually expand that closet and get donations and fill it up. And we started with a fundraiser. The rescue mission decided to actually call it David's Closet, and now it's a big room that is full for the residents here to shop at Christmas time. And the great thing about it is you don't just go through a line, or your kids don't just go through a line and get handed a gift. The residents earn the right to shop in the closet. They're actually picking and giving gifts to their loved ones. And that's how this all started.
We all want dignity in our lives, and homeless people are no different. They all want it. Different degrees, maybe yes, but sometimes they've been so beat up they have no dignity. They don't know where to get it, and they feel hopeless. And so we've started putting the dignity bags together to help you have hygiene products, to help you have a t-shirt, to help you have hand warmers, something that just normal bodily things that you need to have dignity, something we all take for granted. It's easy to say, woe is me, and think about me and what's in this for me, but we're doing this for somebody we don't even know, and there's a great feeling in your heart. I think that's what God wants us to do. Love the people that need you. Love everybody. It's what He asks of all of us.
And this is who David really was. He was that type of person. He loved the unlovable. He had that heart that he cared about people, and he cared about people he didn't know. So he was a great example of doing good for the mission. They remember him. I mean, Sherry has a picture of him on her desk to this day because he was a special type of person. So, it just carries that on.
And it is really important for my wife and I that we keep it going so that the next person, you never know who's the next person you helped.
It is so amazing that Rick and Lonnie could take such pain in their lives and turning it into something positive for other people. In fact, like Rick said, for people that they don't even know, they may not ever meet. Pretty amazing story. With her own survival story of abuse, assault, and addiction, God has given Pam a voice to connect with others, coach them through the Genesis program, and share God's loving redemption plan.
There is not one normal day. I have been here a little over 3 years, and I've never had the same day twice. I wake up every day and asking God, today is your day. and I will serve you the way you want me to serve you. It can be hauling trays of food up to guys that are in quarantine, residents that are in quarantine due to COVID, or it could be sitting down and talking with somebody about a hurt or wound that was triggered, and helping them process it because they normally would want to go out and use. There's been a lot of hard moments, but knowing that God is doing the work and watching what somebody looks like the day they walk in the door, and to sit back and just partner with Him to be a part of the transformation process to see where they are 9 months or 12 months later, that is a privilege. And that is, I don't consider it a job. They're part of our family. I feel honored to hear what people have gone through and that they can trust me and my staff. It's not just me, it's my awesome staff too, but they trust us enough to expose our hurts and wounds and be transparent so that God can start the healing process. You can't do recovery alone. Myself included, I've been through domestic violence, sexual assault, addiction, and that takes our voice, that isolates us. And when I see others put other people before them, one, it gets them out of themselves. Two, they start using their voice to hold each other accountable and to speak their needs. That's all part of the healing process.
We've learned quite a bit about that process throughout the evenings, and whether it's somebody like Pam or Rick and Lonnie who turned that pain into something positive, or people who are just here every day giving their time to help others with their struggles. It's pretty amazing.
You know, the old saying, it says, it takes a village to raise a child. It really takes a community to help those that are in need. They can't do it by themselves, but to be able to see that support and that hope and to be given that sense of feeling, acceptance, is just a great inspiration.
Absolutely, and meeting and talking with the residents throughout this whole process of filming videos and getting ready for the telethon, you've truly helped give them a voice when they thought they didn't have one anymore. And when you're giving to the telethon, it's the exact same thing. You're helping these individuals have a voice again to be able to tell their story. How incredible, right?
And we talked about just 2 seconds ago about how this is this big community effort and it's teamwork. We're the faces and maybe some phone bank faces that you see on a night like tonight. There's a whole army of people that work behind the scenes. We mentioned Brent Jepson, who came and not only did he shoot all those videos, but he put the videos together. We have a whole crew here, our engineering department in the trailer. We've got Aaron and Anna, Mike sitting over there in his chair. Steve, Johnny, who's on the floor, and of course our producer Sean, who really we couldn't do it without any of them. You always risk when you start naming people that you're going to forget somebody. I apologize if I forgot someone's name, but yeah, we couldn't do it by ourselves either. But we also couldn't do it without you and whether you spent 5 minutes with us or 10 minutes with us, or maybe you were here for the whole
2 hours.
The whole 2 hours, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it was time well spent because, like we said, you learn a lot. Maybe you didn't know what the rescue mission did until tonight, until you actually watched and heard these stories. The numbers are impressive, but the faces and the stories are even more so.
Absolutely. That's what really make it here. And I'm very happy. We've got about 45 seconds here. The number of think before they took it down, what we're at, 120,000?
121, 235. And just a reminder, the goal was 110.
110. So we are well above that. And even though the telethon ends in about 30 seconds, you can still give your gift. You can still call 815-966-2842. Best way, once the telethon is over, donate online, rockfordrescuemission.org.
And if you traditionally give every night this year, thank you. If you are a new gift giver, thank you as well.
Yes,
thank you to everybody who joined us here this evening. God bless you. Have a wonderful night.
Stay safe.
Thank you for watching An Evening for Hope, a telethon benefiting Rockford Rescue Mission. An Evening for Hope was brought to you commercial-free thanks to our exclusive sponsor, Subway.